One of the most consistent things I get told is that I've been seeking for so long, I'm exhausted, I just give up. I don't want to seek anymore. I feel like I could reread the same thing over and over again, and I get it, but nothing happens, nothing changes. I've read all the books, all the understanding, nothing's changed in my life. Why is it I can't embody this? Why am I stuck in the same place? What am I doing wrong? It's actually very simple. So what I'm going to explain is exactly how we can move away from this kind of like banging my head against a wall exhaustion and find an actual path. It's very likely that you haven't yet committed to a certain understanding or to a certain guide or to someone who can just help you consistently. And I totally get that. If you haven't found that person yet, then that's just not going to happen. But there's an element of devotion that we need to have to admit that we need actual person-to-person guidance. The reason for this is because the minute I did, in my experience, I realized there's only 3 things necessary. If we're still seeking and operating in the paradigm of seeking, and I'm still suffering and I don't know how to not suffer, then we need to play the game, so to speak. Most people don't want to play the game. They want to do mind tricks. They want to do nothing. They want to find the effortless path. If we're going to be suffering, let's play the game of suffering. And there's only 3 ways to play this. We need to have the right intention. We need to have an understanding of the goal, the actual goal. And the third thing is that we need the right path to get there. So we need an intention. If the intention is wrong, literally zero progress. The reason people are stuck for decades seeking and doing the same thing is because they're still not having these 3 fundamental things: the intention, the goal, and the right path to get there. Now, why do we start with the intention? Because if your intention is to understand for the sake of removing your suffering, basically, if you're seeking truth for the purpose of removing your suffering, it's going to be null and void. It'll go in one ear and out the other, or it won't even go in the ear to begin with. This is why you have this experience of, I keep reading everything and I get it, but I'm still suffering. Why am I still suffering? The reason is because your intention is impure. You have to have a pure intention, and to have a pure intention, it's very simple. All you do is you seek to understand for the sake of truth. That shift is going to change your entire life on its own. That will actually open you up to the next 2 things. That will then open you up to the goal. What is the goal? The goal is actually happiness. Happiness and truth, 2 sides of the same coin. Your goal has been to remove suffering, but your goal should have been to understand happiness. This sounds like the same thing, but it's absolutely not. Suffering, removing your suffering is like, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want suffering. Suffering makes me feel shit and I want to get rid of it. That's the energy of suffering, of wanting to remove your suffering. The energy of seeking happiness is actually up here. That energy of actually being interested in seeking happiness is an energy, because if you ask someone why you want happiness, because it feels good, I love happiness, happiness is amazing, blah, blah, blah. It brings you up. When you're seeking from the dimension of trying to remove suffering, it sounds similar, but it's just not. It is completely different energy. So that's basically been the premise of your experience. You've been seeking to remove suffering, but your happiness doesn't end by removing suffering. It actually ends by not resisting. And your seeking was an expression of resistance. So this is a step to move up from. The next thing is to have the right path. You need the right path, because if you don't have that, then what are you doing? You're doing nonsense. You need a path of understanding. Now, I'm a chef telling you this is the recipe to make this dish of unconditional happiness. There could be other recipes more favorable for you. But if you've watched any of my videos so far and you enjoy them, or you're in my community and you get a vibe that you like what I do, I would follow my recipe. Why would you not? It would be the most ridiculous thing to do, is to find something you enjoy and not follow it. So if you have a path that you like and you don't follow that unapologetically nonstop, my question is why? What are you waiting for? Invest in a path, invest in some form of understanding and commit to it. I don't care if that's me or somebody else, whoever you think is the best person to help you, go to that person and actually invest in understanding their way of thinking. Because if you do that and they're a good teacher, it's just going to be smooth sailing. There's going to be nothing stopping you from unconditional happiness, so long as you have the first 2 points. And that path should be enjoyable, it should be fun, and you should be inspired and enthusiastic. You should want to do it. But you're not going to find a path like that if you're in the 2 modes of suffering in those first 2 things. If you don't have the first 2 points, you're not going to find that path. So first work on the first 2 points. Then at the end of that, if you say, oh, do you know what? Now I'm in this place of absolute curiosity, adventure, and freedom, and I'll post links on these videos so you can watch them and understand what I mean a bit further on that. But if you're at this place now of genuine openness, curiosity, and you're excited, you're like, oh, where am I going to explore next? No more, let me remove my suffering. It doesn't work that way. Now you're open. Now you're able to actually understand what I'm saying. And this is a moment where you could actually join the mastermind group. I don't recommend joining if you're in the first 2 phases. And that's actually most people. So if you're in this place of open, curious, adventurous energy, which I've posted in so many other videos, if you want more on that, just go check them out, then you're open to the mastermind. I do not recommend joining before that, because it's going to go in one ear and out the other. It's just pointless. So this is why I do these videos, to re-inspire the adventurous mindset so that we are in a place where we can actually be open to understanding. So they're the only 3 things you need. The link's in the description. If you'd like to join, you can check that out. I would love to see you there if you would like to be there. Make it fun, make it playful. That's how it should be. You should want to do your self-inquiry or whatever you want to do out of genuine passion and joy, just like you would go play basketball or go climb the rocks or go for a run along the beach. It should be a thing you do almost as leisure, not something you do because if I don't do this, I'm going to suffer. That's the wrong way to be behaving and intending on this spiritual path. I hope this is helpful. I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye.